I'm just gonna.
Okay, I'm here again with Saturnal Mage, or I don't know what the name. What something in Mare? What's your new channel?
I don't know. It just says Saturn Mage. That's what I named myself.
Okay.
Or Saturnal, or the Saturnal Witch, because that's what my online thing is as well. Whatever you want. I don't know.
And of course, the name via me is Lzwvmmh Eve Nu Wa, and her Vuma name. But I thought to include her in my tarot programs this year, and this is the more scripted one, but we're going to let her give her interpretation of the images as they come across here. This is one of the more common decks. This is the 1978 or the 1983 printing version. It's not the most expensive version out there, but apparently now it's definitely not the $20 that I put a different sticker on it. But it's definitely gone way up in price, I guess, because there's so many other decks. And but I guess give your opinion on the back. Unlike a lot of decks, you can instantly tell the reversals based on the back of this deck. But so while I may not go over every symbol and element in the Thoth tarot deck by Aleister Crowley that was painted by Lady Frieda Harris, I seek to present a working understanding that is updated for the modern age and which may serve as a use to refer to a comprehensive view of life. In interest of creating a theme layout for each day and time of year, let's start by dividing the stations exemplified in the trumps or major arcana into the 8 points of the year with their letters, as seen in my seasonal ceremonies. And we'll start with the most recent one here. But what is your impression of the backs of these cards?
It kind of has like a Roman cross type feel, but then the colors of the background feel more royal. And then the colors in the cross seem, I don't know, cultural in some way. So in any regard to any culture or royalty, I guess it carries itself artistically. I can't quite tell what the little symbols are in the background. Can you describe them?
Well, you can probably see here that you have
the dots and
so you have the disc, you got the cups, you got the wands, a sort of golden dawn winged wand, and then of course you got the swords or daggers there, and the cube of space. So from the dot, it unfolds the square, and the square has the 12 sides. I mean, the cube has the 12 sides, and you unfold the cube, and you also end up in the middle there with the trumps. So those are the basic colors of the trumps, because Aleister Crowley, of course, derives from the Golden Dawn tradition. And starting
Golden Dawn, particularly, I'm not aware.
Well, he adapted a lot of the Golden Dawn. Some of it he just copied. Some of it he adapted.
What is the Golden Dawn?
It was a secret society. It was a secret quasi-Christian mystical society. Quasi-Christian, quasi New Age or neo-pagan, and they had top society members like W.B. Yeats and I don't remember who else, but he wasn't the only big figure with all that.
Pig. My cat's stealing my nail supplies.
So I'm going to go over the trumps in order here, and then I'm going to then perhaps we can say something about the cards that have your thing. But for Lunasa, are the start. Let me know if the image is off at all.
It's a little blurry. Just a little bit. Maybe it's the lighting. Maybe it needs a little more light. That's better. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, let me start here. So for Lunasa, which is the start of the cooling quarter, we have card number 1, which has the letter B on it, the Magus. Card number 4, the Emperor, the Tz, the Thade, the TZ letter, or the TS, and 9, the Hermit. For Mabon, or the Autumnal Equinox, we have number 8, Adjustment, which has the letter L, Lust, which has the letter TH, and
wonder what that could mean. Oh, you said EH, not FH.
So yeah, card 11 and card 8, there's a twist, much like there's a twist in the zodiac for the Star and Emperor. But card 12, the Hanged Man, which has the M on it. We have Samhain, which is the start of the dark quarter of the year. So for that, we have Death with the letter N, and 14, Art with the letter S. And that's a palatal S, if you want to say it right. For Yule, or the winter solstice, we have card 2, the Priestess, which is a G, 10, Fortune, which is a K, and 17, the Star, which is an H. As I said, there's a twist between where there's, rather than your usual order of the cards of the zodiac, you twist in a couple places. One, you twist the letter, the other, you twist the order. But the Star, which
I've never seen anything like that, but I'm trying to follow along with your.
Okay, well, we'll get back to that when we get a few more of these. So Imbolc, which is the start of the warming quarter. So we have the Empress, which is card 3 and D. The Hierophant, which is card 5 and W. V if you're going to say Hebrew, but W if you're going to look at the biblical language. 7 is the Chariot. And for Ostara, which is the spring equinox, we have card 0, the Fool. Oh, Chariot is a CH. Is a So we so in the spring equinox we have 0, the Fool, A, 18, the Moon, Q, and 21, the Universe, T. And for Beltane, the start of the bright quarter, we have 6, the Lovers, Z.
When is Beltane usually? May?
May 5th or the night of May 5th or May 6th.
Do you
There's
think
some variation
which has anything to do with Beltane, or?
I'm sorry, what?
Or what is May Day? Isn't it like the first day of May?
A lot of these Christian holidays are.
I just remember my elementary school making a big deal out of May Day or whatever, and we'd go outside and we'd dance with the ribbons around a pole, and I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a lot of this stuff comes from these other stuff. Halloween is an adaptation. Samhain's the week after Halloween. Okay. Candlemas is before Imbolc. May Day and Walpurgisnacht is before Beltane. That sort of stuff goes. So where were we? We were at so Beltane is 6, the Lovers, Z. We have 16, the Tower, P, and 20, the Aon, SH. And the last one in this section, which we can talk about some of the cards more, because I'm sure you had some ideas about the images involved. So for Litha, or Ara Litha, the summer solstice, we have 15, the Devil, A or AI, AE, You know that little symbol we were talking about that for some
Yeah.
reason they're saying is pronounced ash?
Yeah.
And we have 19, the sun, R, which I think they're playing games with what they're saying, how it's pronounced, that doesn't make sense. But there may be some language that pronounces it like that.
Well, perhaps it's meant to be kept a secret. So confusing people would be in their favor.
A secret left in the open
I don't know.
so the initiates understand, yes. So I think the card that you drew the first attention to was the star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what is your thoughts on this image here?
Can you put more light on it? Sorry.
I don't know how to put more light on it.
Oh, it's just a little bit blurry around the edges and stuff.
It should be.
Is it a woman like this? Is my interpretation correct?
It's
okay.
So I don't know why my image is blurring. I'm going to see if I can enhance the video quality.
She's basking in starlight, and she's either feeling powerful or weak. I can't really tell.
Well, one thing that I can't see anything to enhance that, so we're just going to have to let this slide. It may not be giving me full speed. There may be something with the signal, so the signal may be reduced. Is why we're facing that. So
right. I'll try to look at it closer.
What we find with this card is that we are in the age of Aquarius. So therefore, Thoth is not the star, so it's a whole new age. We're 2 ages over.
I've heard that a lot lately. What exactly might that mean for
someone? It means that if you wake up, it's actually just like Leo. Remember how I was telling you that Leo is kind of September and some of August, some of October? Mm-hmm. Aquarius is like that with March. If you look at the stars for Aquarius, some of them rise with the sun in February, some of them rise with the sun in April. So it's every 2,000 years we end up with, because every 72 years the sky kind of shifts about an angle, a degree. So over 20 something thousand years, I don't remember the exact number at this point. But every 2,160 or something like that, you end up with a new age. So if you divide things into 12, it's the age of Aquarius regardless. But we'll come into more of that as we get along. But one of the things is you have, in the Quran, you have the story of Abraham. And Abraham's out there, and he's like, God shows him stuff so he understands. And then he goes to his people. And then he's like, the star, the moon, and the sun. It's like, oh, I'm not going to worship those things that said. So he's questioning the people about, is this God? Is this my Lord? Is this my Lord? Is this my Lord? And then when it sets, he says, see, that's not my Lord, basically. That's how the story goes down. But the thing is, he was able to make the new information work. And that's what we're supposed to be doing now, is we take in this new, we're in an information age. So what's not true, we let it go. What no longer works, we let it go, and we take in the new. And so it's just the cycle of things. And if you look at the letter, it's also the person who lays on their side. In the ancient Aramea, it's the person who lays on its side. But,
look, your camera is just so conveniently zooming in for you.
Yeah, I saw that. It's trying to figure it out. It's the Astarte symbol. It's, Illuminati rituals,
That one's a neat one. I like the spider web design around it with the beaming light.
Were there any more comments on any of these, on any of the Trumps before we continued?
Oh,
we'll get back to the Trumps later, I think. What?
AE thing in there?
The AE. Are you sure? Are you sure you want that one to be the one you talk about? Okay. I warned you.
Why? Why is that a bad thing?
No, no, there are no bad or good cards.
Well, I mean, why did you say that? Why wouldn't I want to talk about it? It's interesting.
Oh, well, most people. But there's a secret. There's a secret right there. There's a secret to this card that most people don't get. Who's facing you with the butt? The guy with the horns. The guy with the horns is mooning you. But so this is over matter. And basically the thing is that whether secularization or through bad spiritual intentions, the world has been demonized. But rather than these messed up egregoric thought forms, not all egregors are bad, but there are some egregors that have some problems. There are some shades of the dead that they're not really the dead, but they kind of mess with people. But the thing is, all evil and ignorance, the secret to this card, it's all just a twist. It's all just a twist. Any good, through good and truth, the same stuff is accessible. But basically, it's a power of the earth card. But and just, and the liberation through joy card. But we'll talk more about the trumps later. So some basic seasonal ideas. So this is just 8 cards we're going to go over. To generally describe the case of the cards for any particular day, we arrive at 7 cards. If we consider the season to represent the cardinal directions and start at the cross quarters in November, February, May, and August, we get seasonal cards like the following. So for fall, what used to be called fall, it used to be called fall from that point in August to that point in November. Mm-hmm. And just like it used to be called spring from that point in February to that point in May, because the temperature started springing up. So the temperature starts to fall, springs up. Winter was the darkest time, summer was the other. I don't know when and why they changed that, but they did. But let's just say fall. We see the ace and the princess of cups with the hanged man as both Neptune and water. So.
Oh, is there anything in that lineup that has to do with Saturn?
I think this Saturn. Well, Pluto, I would think Pluto more, but let me make sure my angle's right on these cards. Okay. So, and the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is also the card of the quadrant. Certain zodiac ones are thought to have 2 things. Saturn, the Devil card is Saturn's very big on the Devil card. I don't remember all the ascendants.
What type of symbol is that there on the foot? And why is it zooming in just so coincidentally?
Okay. I'm trying to fight the zooming in.
I know it's not you though. That's why I keep saying coincidentally, because your camera just has a mind of its own, and
it's not like anything's moving, so something's going on. This is the Ankh, so it's the symbol of life. So basically, the guy is he's surviving, and he's making a sacrifice in life. So you don't necessarily have to die to be a martyr, but you don't have to necessarily be killed or that sort of thing. But okay, well, because I can't see the screen and read the thing at the same time, let me continue through here a little bit. We have for winter, we see the ace and princess of discs with the universe as both Saturn and Earth. For spring, we see the Ace and the Princess of Wands with the Fool as both Uranus and air. So let's show you the Fool card again.
Oh my gosh, look.
Hold on.
You know it's not coincidental. You know I'm sarcastic when I say coincidental.
You
But
said,
yeah.
look, what was I supposed to see? Because I can't see the screen. And
as soon as you said, look at this card, basically the zooming in happened again.
oh,
And I said, it's not coincidental, but that's me being sarcastic. So,
okay, because I can't.
is there a pause on this sort of thing on this device?
I will see if there's a. Oh, I can pause. I didn't notice that before. That's how about we finish up on these 12 cards, I guess, before we pause.
Okay.
So we have the Ace and the Princess of Wands with the Ion. Where's the On?
Wow, look at that again. It's zooming in again. And now it's zooming out. And now it's zooming in. And now it's zooming out.
Come on, we have to see the whole card. Don't tell it stuff that it's going to play. Okay, so
maybe your camera has artificial intelligence and it's trying to communicate.
oh, the Princess of Wands. So each ace is the throne of its princess, if I didn't say that. So do you have any thoughts on those particular 12 cards that we just drew attention to before we?
How about the one that it zoomed in on? One or two cards after the Onks.
The Fool?
Sure.
I'm not sure which all cards.
I'm not sure either, but that one's cool.
Okay, I will draw this thing here. So, okay, what were the thoughts that you were showing with the saying with this?
Well, the Fool is always predicted as the card of foolishness or stupidity, but what do you think it means?
Well, the Fool is neither in or out of the system. That limiting it to foolishness or stupidity is really the adverse way of looking at the card. In reality, it's just he's not bound to the system. He's about to jump into the system. Can be impulsiveness, but he's the character. If you look at the card, if you look at the other 21 cards of the trumps, this guy's the signifier. And if you look at extra cards, how is this going to be broken down? So people break it down as, okay, this is the Aleph. So what's the three cards beyond? So you got the path, you got the principles of the path, and the spirit of the path. The tarot's only 78 cards, but some decks add more cards. If you're going to add 3 more cards, that's what I recommend. Is to add, it's basically, instead of states and stations of the human being and categories of nature, what you have is let's be purely psychological, spiritual about it, and say this is the spiritual path. So here's another card, and here's another card that is the principles of the path, and another card that perhaps is the the conscious, the spirit of the path per se. So the spirit, the rules, and the path itself. The body, the story, that sort of thing. But you can say that this is already the body, so therefore you don't have to worry about 3 extra cards, so only 80 cards. Because when you cut up the sheets, you're going to end up with 80 cards. So what are you going to do? Are you going to have blank cards? This deck comes with blank cards.
I need to take a bathroom break. I'm sorry.
But I will let you take your break, and we'll pause this, which I didn't notice you can do. Okay.
And we're back.
To follow through with a theme of months for the age of Aquarius, we get a court and trump card of the zodiac, of immutable prince, a cardinal queen, are fixed king as follows. Queen of Swords, and the 7, the Chariot, is Cancer. The King of Discs and the 11, Lust, is Leo. The Prince of Wands and the 9, the Hermit, is Virgo. The Queen of Cups and 8, Adjustment, is Libra. The King of Swords and Death is Scorpio. The Prince of Discs and 14, Art, is Sagittarius. The Queen of Wands and 15, the Devil, is Capricorn. The Queen and the 15. It's not quite matching up with my words, so I apologize for that. So the King of Cups and the 17, the Star, is Aquarius. The Prince of Swords and 18, the Moon, is Pisces. The Queen of Discs and 4, the Emperor, is Aries. The King of Wands and 5, the Hierophant, is Taurus. The Prince of Cups and 6, the Lovers, is Gemini. And as we've said, we're in August. So those cards were August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. You know, if one wants to figure that out. So is there any of those 24 cards that you want? The Hierophant.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the Midsummer card, and which is, oh well, one of your birth cards is the Lover, but so it's before that. But so the Hierophant, where did I have that?
Taurus.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
So what did you have to say about this dude? And I will.
I just like Tauruses. I don't know. Let me look. Well, there's a star at the center of it all. There's a lot of faces in that.
A lot of the cards kind of try to represent the universal order. So you have the Midsummer, you know, the lion has turned green. So the lion's not the brightest time of the year anymore. It's more of the equinox. So this dude's red, this dude's yellow, this dude's blue. But I mean, that's how I would put it. But you have the 3 stages. So very big on the 3 stages. And
what's that type of art called where there's 3 pictures as a whole? Try something.
But you notice how there's the 6 and there's the 5. If you move, so the 6 is the outside, the 5 is the inside. There's more meanings than that, but so the microcosmos is you, and the macrocosmos is the universe. So you respond to them together, and you got 3 stages. So we're seeing the mother and the father stage all together here.
Okay.
And the mother's stage is most distant. The father's stage is closer, but here we are in the child. We're not just the relationship skills your mother gave you, the rules and general
The
skills.
relationship skills our mothers gave us. That's a deep. And there it goes.
And so
Again.
there's daddy then. He's a Babylonian daddy.
Oh, he's holding a key. Thank you for zooming in there, my mystical camera.
So, and see the child's on the star there. The child's on the star. But the keys to initiation. So we're given stuff by our parents, but as far as right and wrong and what to do with it later to further development, that's totally up to us. You know, be innocent as children, but, you know, the child shall not be punished for the transgressions of the parents, at least not by God or anything like that. But so yeah, he's got the order, the patriarchal order. Of course, the other thing is the female order. So it's, you know, but we're our own individuals, and we're responsible. No matter how we were raised, no matter what society has done to us, it's our responsibility to do our work and have our beliefs all on our own. And that's what psychology does to us. You know that? Unless you hit puberty when you're like 7 or something, your brain all of a sudden switches over into having a morality that's all its own. You're even raised one way, and, you know,
that's interesting.
All of a sudden you don't agree. It's like, look at all these cults where they make people marry their sisters and their uncles and all this other stuff. Who turns them in? Is it the people in their 30s? No, it's the teenagers. You hit puberty in one of those cults and you decide.
But then again, if we're all human and we're all related, even though there's all kinds of different races and cultures.
Oh yeah,
are we really all related then?
At one point, all my ancestors were black. Yes. As pale as I am.
But I mean, how many years do you think that took to occur?
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. There's evidence to say that.
A lot of wars actually caused a lot of births and marriages all on their own because of different.
Well, there was trade. There was trade all over. There was trade all over, and we just didn't. Oh, who's a good trader? Now he makes a spiritual journey. He's, you know, this is the card of this month, and you know, August, to remind people, because they may not see this in August. I think it's not going to go up in August either. But this guy also makes a journey, but he is, you know, this is January, but, you know, he's more heavily enforced because things are difficult. But the other guy of the work to be done, you know, you have the Prince of Swords bringing that out a lot more than a lot of them. Is there any other of these month cards that you'd like to talk about? October. Which is, you know the phrase Bethlehem kind of refers to this card. You know that? Bethlehem. Because Bethlehem, you know, the Virgo's that crossed woman, and so the Virgin. So being born in Bethlehem could be saying being born in September, because this was 2,000 something years ago, right? So a September birth used to be that. And if you look at the story in the Bible about Jesus, that if you look at the dates, the possible dates of that stellar alignment, you know, basically planets in particular positions, much like what's happening. My speech is maybe broken or confused or something in terms of what other people are going to understand it is, but it makes sense to me. That's the important thing. December 21st. December 21st, Jupiter and Saturn are going to be closer to each other in the sky than they've been in 20 years in terms of our perception on Earth. So it's going to be a bright, it's going to be like one star up there in the sky. Unless you have binoculars or really good vision. So like a tenth of a degree apart. So they're going to be like, yeah.
July.
Because of course that's your birth. You got to have
Lots
July.
of terrible things happened to me this July, including my 30th birthday, but that was not a bad thing. But yeah, a lot of bad things have been happening.
But July, of course, is the mutable of water. And you remember that little ladder, that ladder-looking thing. So there's verses and stuff that apply to that. But so if you wanted to share your thoughts on these, this is, this is the apocalypse.
You want my art interpretation?
Yeah, if you want to throw out your art interpretation for any of these or discuss any of them as we go along, this is.
It's like a blooming magical appearance of an angel, possibly coming out of a small container or a box or something. She's like, "Woof, I am here, and I am flowing." That's my art interpretation.
So I've talked about this before. I've done in my Eckankar journaling class series, I've talked about my paintings and shown up in terms of those paintings. One thing I like to say about this one card is that it's not just, and this card makes it clear. There's the Lilith and Eve. Who are you going to choose, Lilith or Eve? That sort of thing. But you have the twins. Gemini is also known as a voluptuous woman. More cultures talked about before the Greeks, or even simultaneous with the Greeks, that didn't feel like they had to accept the Greek paradigm of the constellations and otherwise. There was more constellations having a big curvy woman as Gemini in the sky rather than twins. But us in the West have adapted the twins role. So twins in two respects: a spiritual brotherhood, a spiritual sisterhood, if you want to put it in those terms, and same thing, the lovers aspect. This is like a marriage ceremony right here, and this is what may be outside of marriage and stuff like this too, or what leads, whether it leads to marriage or whether it's whatever. We have, the egg is a symbol, of course, things starting over. We have the lions. Oh, that's actually one of the secrets. So I'm gonna tell you one of the secrets of it right here. If you haven't noticed, the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck has not hid at all its sexual symbolism. But that's a way of thinking about things too. So we start here. Notice the two characters, and then we go over here. We again have these colored characters, and they're more distinct. And then something's about to happen. What do you think is going to happen? You've seen it. What do you think is going to happen?
I'm gonna get married.
Well, this can be a marriage, yes. They've changed colors.
Oh.
They have merged. Temperance is the card that basically prepares you for marriage. So in the Temperance card, here
so what month does that card represent there?
This card is January.
Like this last January or this upcoming January?
Any January. I'm talking about how to create a calendar of the cards. And so they've merged. They've compromised in the relationship to the point where they're acting on behalf of the other, in the point where, whether it's the physical act or not, they've merged. So there's a blurring of their identities. It's not just a sharing of fluids and all that. It's their identities have perhaps blurred in other ways too. And you don't have to even be physically intimate to, start picking up the mannerisms and habits of others. But certainly the roles of lovers and soulmates can be the same thing, but they don't have to be the same thing. But so we're going to go over here, the pips. So are you ready to progress to the next section?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We see here a letter switch between the usual order around Pisces with H as the letter of this era and PZ as the ruler letter. Instead of the star laying down and the emperor standing up dancing for joy, we see a number, and we also see a number switch around Virgo with the justice of TH and the strength of L instead of the staff directing change and the self-controlling container. There are things that can be said about using these zodiacal bends are correcting them. And let me fix a typo here. Starting with the vernal equinox, let's look at the pips with their attributes of the borders and what they might look like in the age of Aquarius. Of course, we're going to go down here and we are going to start with, is the card in full view?
Yes.
Okay. So the Seven of Swords. Where's the Seven of Swords?
Oh dear.
This is Moon in Aquarius, or Mercury in Cancer as futility. The Eight of Swords. This is Jupiter in Gemini, or Moon in Cancer as interference. The Nine of Discs. This is Venus in Virgo, or Saturn in Leo as gain. The Ten of Discs. This is Mercury in Virgo, or Jupiter in Leo as wealth. And then, of course, we have the fall equinox. And Two of Discs. This is Jupiter in Capricorn, or Mars in Leo as change. And the disc are known as the diamonds in your playing cards. The Three of Wands. This is Sun in Aries, or Sun in Virgo as virtue. The Four of Wands. This is Venus in Aries, or Venus in Aries as completion.
Well, I brought out the green nails, but I actually just changed my mind.
Okay. So continue.
Yes.
The Five of Wands. This is Saturn in Leo, or Mercury in Virgo as strife. Oh, that's okay. So I meant to say the Four of Wands was Venus in Aries or Virgo as completion. Okay. And the Six of Cups is Sun in Scorpio, or Moon in Libra as pleasure. The Seven of Cups, this is Venus in Scorpio, or Saturn in Libra as debauchery. Eight of Cups, this is Saturn in Pisces, or Jupiter in Libra as indolence. The Nine of Swords, this is Mars in Gemini, or Mars in Scorpio as cruelty. 10 of Swords, this is Sun in Gemini, or Sun in Scorpio as ruin. And then, of course, we have the winter solstice. 2 of Swords, this is Moon in Libra, or Venus in Scorpio as peace. 3 of Discs, this is Mars in Capricorn, or Mercury in Sagittarius as works. 4 of discs, this is Sun and Capricorn, our Moon and Sagittarius as power. 5 of discs, this is Mercury and Taurus, our Saturn and Sagittarius as worry. The 6 of Wands.
What is that?
That is my alarm. And I'm not sure, well, okay, well, yeah, that's my alarm. So 6 of Wands, this is Jupiter and Leo, our Jupiter and Capricorn is victory. 7 of Wands, this is Jupiter and Leo, our Jupiter and Capricorn, wait. Okay, 6 of Wands is victory. Okay, the 7 of Jupiter and Leo or Jupiter and Capricorn is victory. I'm sorry, messed up with that one. 7 of Wands, this is Mars and Leo, or Mars and Capricorn is valor. You know, bravery. This is the 8 of Wands. This is Mercury and Sagittarius, or Sun and Capricorn is swiftness. The 9 of Cups, this is Jupiter and Pisces, or Venus and Aquarius as happiness. The 10 of Cups, this is Mars and Pisces, or Mercury and Aquarius as satiety. And then we have the spring equinox, 2 of Cups. This is Venus and Cancer, or Mercury and Aquarius as love. So we double up around the, oh, okay, I'll talk about that later. We'll get into that later. The 3 of Swords. This is Saturn and Libra. Our Moon in Pisces is sorrow. The 4 of Swords. This is Jupiter in Libra.
I'm sorry, what was the 2 of Swords?
The 2 of Swords. That's a ways back. That was peace.
Okay.
The 2 of so the 3 of Swords is sorrow, and we're back into Swords. So the 4 of Swords is, this is Jupiter in Libra, our Saturn in Pisces is truce. I said Libra, Saturn, Libra, Moon in Pisces is sorrow. Okay. So the 5 of Swords, this is Venus in Aquarius, or Jupiter in Pisces as defeat. Now, why the 5s look so bad is because this is Mars. So war is never the easiest thing to deal with. It's the striving. If you said there was a 6th pillar of religion, it'd be doing what's right even when it's difficult, basically.
Okay.
So defeat. So if it's too much just a mental striving, then you need defeat.
Marty.
Venus in Aquarius, Jupiter in Pisces. Okay. The 6 of disc, this is Moon in Taurus, our Mars in Aries as success. The 7 of discs, this is Saturn in Taurus, our Sun in Aries as failure. The 8 of discs, this is Sun in Virgo.
So wait, how are you getting this? How are you coming to these conclusions?
This is the arrangements of the cards according to the year. After every equinox, you get a 2, and you work your way up through the 10, and then you start that round again. And there's the triplicity system. You can have a sun at each equinox and each solstice, and each cross quarter. You can have your the order where you go Saturn through Moon.
Marby.
And then you start over.
Inappropriate. Marb.
So Sun and
Marb,
Virgo.
don't eat that, Marb.
I'm not sure at this moment, but I said that the 8 of disc, the Sun in Virgo, or Venus, in Aries as prudence. The 9 of wands, so we're, well, this is Moon in Sagittarius, or Mercury in Taurus as strength. the 10 of Wands, this is Saturn in Sagittarius, our moon in Taurus as oppression. And then we have the summer solstice, and then we have the 2 of Wands. You know, I rearranged the pips to match with the shift in
Marbaloo.
the switch between the water and the fire, the fire and the earth signs, and the switch between the water and the air signs.
My cat is being very inappropriate.
No,
She's making all kinds of gulping and slurping noises while washing her butt.
Okay, we're going to have to. Not a necessary detail. So the 2 of Wands. This is Mars and Aries, or Saturn and Taurus as Dominion. The 3 of
Dominion?
Cups. Yeah.
What's that mean?
It's kind of like the Pantera song, Domination. No, not really. Of course, that can be considered.
Okay.
It's kind of like the pip version of the Emperor card, but basically having control. Just like peace. If you have control of your thoughts, you're at peace. And then things get bad and get cruel, you know. Adding more unnecessary detail isn't necessarily making people smarter. It's just might be causing problems. But the 3 of Cups is Mercury in Cancer, or Jupiter in Gemini as abundance. The 4 of Cups is Moon in Cancer, or Mars in Gemini as luxury. The 5 of Cups is Mars in Scorpio, or Sun in Gemini as disappointment. The 6 of Swords is Mercury in Aquarius, or Venus in Cancer as science. And of course, we started with the, now, if this was not the age of Aquarius, if these signs had been updated, we probably would have started with the 7 of Cups as sort of a debauchery thing. But we started with futility. But let me switch to the view here. Is there any one of these 36 small cards? You know, the decans. You know what I mean by the decans?
No.
Is that in astronomy, or astrology, because astrology, they basically kept a certain number. So you'd have the 12 zodiac signs, but you'd have 3 decans to each zodiac sign. And so they're attributed to the 36 small cards. So is there any of the small cards that you would like to talk about in particular?
I don't honestly know.
So no card that we showed that...
Nothing calls out to me.
Okay. So let's move on. If we use the Sun, the Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn as the planets, we have an uneven set for the decans. The Golden Dawn doubled up on Mars with Pisces and Aries around the spring equinox. We have gone past the gratitude and relationship skills of the mother stage. We have gone past the rules and skills of the father stage. We are now to discern what has been transmitted to us in order to develop and find out.
Marby-Lou, are you okay?
Our own way in the child stage. In this era, it might be better to make that Mercury within Aquarius, because that would represent how we are messengers and further experiencers of the messages of the prophets, our spiritually gifted of old. Since we initially pass through the stations of the trumps, before the qualities of the aces, characters of the court cards, and stages of the pips, let's close our calendar where we began, with the cards of the weekdays, which can be thought of either as starting at the sunset, before, or whenever you consider the start of each day to be. And let me make sure the cards are in, we got them in full view, right? So Sunday has card 19, the sun.
I like the sun.
Monday, you know, the biblical week, the Quranic week, pretty much every religion starts with the Sunday as the first. But most start with the sunset of Saturday, is what they mean by Sunday. So Monday we have card 2, the priestess. Tuesday we have card 16, the tower. Wednesday we have card 1, the magus. Thursday we have card 10, fortune, formerly called the wheel of fortune. And Saturday we have, Friday we have card 3, the empress. And Saturday we have card 21, the universe. And is there anything you would like to say about these 7 cards real quick? Or not real quick, it's up to you.
The sun, definitely the sun.
So there's a lesson here. And if you don't, if there's possibly other places to get this lesson, but okay. Liberation through joy is one of the things about this card, right? So obviously there's no, unlike the biblical word for calling the naked body besht, or shame, cover your shame. There's a problem with that. Modesty is one thing. There's safety and all sort of different sorts associated with modesty, but don't call the thing shame. 1 Corinthians 11:4-7 kind of failed when Christianity stopped being enforced. Because if you're going to say how glorified the man is, and the best way a woman could be is like the man, so she better cover up and kind of hide with that, you know, it's not quite the language. And threatening them and stuff like this. There used to be a beating. There's a version of that chapter that, anyways, that's neither here nor there. But okay. But there's a lesson. There's a lesson that this card has. So what lesson do you think this card has that may not be noticed?
I don't know.
The wall. Okay. I'll give the illustration from the Quran without. I'm not quoting the exact verse. I'm giving you the general message of it. So Moses went with the green man, and the green one, and the green one showed him that he fixed a wall, and Moses was like, "Why didn't you ask for?" He was supposed to, keep his mouth shut, and that was his test, basically. Why didn't you ask for money for fixing this wall? And so when it came to the answer, and you see this hinted at in the Bible, although I don't think there's much of an explanation anywhere for it, it's not, at least not that I've read. Some of the people that the Israelites would have encountered hid money in their walls. They built their homes and basically built a safe into the wall. So they knew where they had money in the wall. And they would repair the wall, they break the wall and take the money if they needed the money. But they kept it safe by hiding it in the wall and plastering the wall. But the walls were all plastered and kind of fused together, that sort of thing anyway, so you didn't know where it was. But they knew where it was. Of course, you wanted to tear someone's entire house down. If you thought you could get away with that, then you could rob people. But, well, you'd presume that's where they hid money. What if they didn't hide any money? Basically, they killed you for. They probably killed you for doing that, But anyways, that's too negative. But anyways, their wealth was withheld from them until they would reach the age of maturity, aka the age of accountability again. And so, just let them be children until they have the, until they're old enough to get what's in the wall. Just like we don't get our full capabilities of certain things that we do as adults, as children, because our mind's not ready yet. So let's keep us out of those situations. But we reach the glory of that situation when we're older and we can control ourselves and make proper judgments. Instead of well, okay, no, I'm gonna not bring up what I saw on that show, but we can look from the front, from the back to the fronts of the cards to find meanings. I personally like the backs to not expose our direct reversibles by their pattern. But a deck like this, which summarizes the themes of the 3 mother, 7 double letters, and 12 zodiac letters with colors, is a nice touch. It is like starting with a singularity, building a cube of space, and setting landmarks of space and blossoming to show the variety of the cups, swords, discs, and wands. It thereby represents everything of an objective and subjective matter. And I'm going to save that, and we can actually show what the 7 cards of the day, unless you want to do a random thing first.
What kind of random thing?
I am not good at shuffling at all. And I don't want my cards getting dirty on the floor or something, because the floor here is not clean. And it's going to be much harder to find the 7 cards of the calendar to give people an example. But this is going to go up with the new moon of the 2nd month of 1442. And it's the 23rd, it's the 22nd of the 12th month of 1441.
Marvy, are you okay, Marvy?
But it's, I would have hoped to have this up today as the early in the post-midnight period, but because August 12th is basically people worship the star goddess, which I don't, but I don't believe there's a star goddess. What was that sound? So, well, are we deciding, is it the view on the camera? Yeah, it's the view on the camera, whatever the view on the camera is. And let's work some reversibles into this.
Okay.
Or at least the possibility of that.
Oh, she's
So it's just that mic that does that.
What?
And let's whatever one's intention is for this. Because of course this is for her, so Ten of Cups passed. Reversed, 4 of Wands. And reversed, 3 of Wands. So I didn't shuffle too good if everything's so close together. Because 3, 4, and 5 would have been super close together. That's well, some people might like a non sequitur. I don't know what's going on here. So we could say
what's
that.
going on is that I bought this microphone on eBay and it was the best $8.50 that I've spent. I get to sing to my cat everything now.
Oh, does it have a knob to adjust it, or?
Yeah, there's an echo. See, and that's a regular. Or now it's echo.
And you can be an alien or monster.
Voice that you're hearing. He's very childlike and high-pitched and off-tone, and it's the voice that I associate my cat with. But I really like Kato.
So this here card, the Ten of Cups, is sort of the card that one is that one is so pleased, or one's in such a state of pleasure or indulgence in, you know, deepness, that one doesn't know what to do with it. The completion reverse is there's things not complete, and part of it's because those vultures outside. I just thought I'd say that like that.
Part of it is Mr. Peanut is leaving us, and he's not even a race. He's a freaking peanut.
Yeah, how am I supposed to find different figure out which bread is for sale?
How am I supposed to eat my peanut butter in peace?
Well, perhaps with the with the spicy turmeric paste, because you can't find curry dishes anymore. No, you can. So that's they're getting rid of curry and Mexican food. And how dare you? How dare you try to sell enchilada sauce? It's racist. Enchilada sauce is racist. Oh, no. And virtue. A lot of people are convinced that things are right. And I think this is going to get worse. So this is a good feature card. Okay. You know I'm recording, right? So might as well stay on thing here. So I'm asking for your opinions. Hello? Yeah. Okay. So here's the cups card again.
My period is almost a week early again.
Okay, so that would relate to, hold on, I'm trying to get that a card here. Well, that's a heavy flow day. Are you even paying attention? I'm trying to I'm losing you. I'm losing you here. Hey. I thought we were doing this.
I am hormonal.
Okay, well, the moon card is, it used to be people, you know, the witch card. Oh, this is not really, I'm not really saying anything about you or anything, but this is the slut card.
The what card?
This is the slut card.
Slut card?
The Queen of Wands. I just thought I'd throw that out before we finish.
Why are you calling the queen a slut? Is her wand code for something else?
It's a well, remember I told you the Unicron story about that she posted online. She said on one of her shows that yeah, this is running out of tampons right there.
Every time I set the microphone down next to my crotch, today only, it does this.
Yeah, we're gonna. Well, it made a woo sound or something. Yeah, like a ghost sound.
Yes, watch.
Okay.
Why isn't it doing it now? How weird.
Well, that is disappointment for you.
Oh, it died. Ending is charged. You know, my microphone and my phone are dead, and I really need to charge my stuff.
Okay, well let's do a basic 7-card thing since
All
that,
this time, I just wanted to do my nails, and I still can't decide which ones to put on because the other ones have glitter, but none of them fit my fingers.
okay.
I'm just gonna do the green.
So we're going through, and so if you had any ideas related to any of the cards we pointed out, I was, you know, trying to connect the cards to that.
I don't know. I think we went over all the ones that intrigued me.
So we're going to have, of course, the Chariot card. And
I don't know what to do because I don't know what nails I want to put on. So I'm just not do it. Just gonna wait.
Oh, that's what I haven't. That was what I didn't look for. Is what day it is. But we'll get to that. Okay, the Knight of Wands, the Prince of Wands. No,
I got these delicious face masks, and I got
I'm going to pause this for the moment.